Please welcome Toastmaster Ayan.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the evening. Lahore. What comes to your mind when you think of this city? Minar Pakistan, food. Lahore, Lahore. Shahi Killa. Lums. Okay. So for me, Hanji, bilkul. For me, the words that I used to associate with Lahore are somewhat similar. So basically, culture, literature, history, art, theatre, but not until a very scary night. This was back in 2023. I was in my final year of undergraduate when two of my friends and I decided to have an adventurous night out in Lahore and watch a theatrical play outside Jahangir's tomb. We started the night as strong, independent, confident girls, but by the end of the night, the only thing that we could confidently say was, "Thank God we survived that." The first of the many scary events that happened that night was during the theater play when one of the main characters announced that I am going to divorce my husband. At that point, nature decided to take the theatrics in its own hand and the earth started shaking. Soon we realized that this is not a part of the play and it's an actual earthquake. And chaos erupted and some of us were even screaming because it was a massive earthquake. But the play continued because I guess that is Lahore, Lahore, and everyone continued to watch. And we also continued. But after the earthquake, there were some judgmental women who were sitting beside me, and I overheard them saying about us three girls कि ये तीन लड़कियां जो हैं ये चीख रही थी to attract men's attention. And it broke me, it shattered me so much, coming from women especially. But I decided okay, it's okay, I'll avoid this negativity and focus on what's in front of me, such a beautiful play. And the night continued. After the play, we had to use the restroom, so we decided that we will enter the first building that we see in the food street. We entered that building. From the outside, it looked like a shop that sells paintings. But as we go down the corridor, the paintings get fewer and fewer and the lights go dimmer and dimmer. And soon we realized that this is not a shop that sells painting. I assume that it might be a resort for tourists. So I get to the reception, I ask the receptionist, where's the washroom? Right at that moment, 4 to 5 middle-aged men surround us. And as young women, we got so scared and he guided us to the first floor pe washroom, and we ran to the first floor. And again, with each step, the lights are getting dimmer and dimmer and the first floor is pitch dark. And at that point, I was leading the way and I move towards my friends and I go, guys, this is how every horror movie begins. And they nervously laugh, but we all know that what I meant was this is how every crime documentary involving assault on women begins. And this is a very shady place. We could feel it in that environment and we decided to run, forget about washroom. This was incident number 2. The final incident of the night happened when we were about to reach our university and one of my friends was like, I want to eat butt kadai. And I was like, no, this is too late. It's unsafe considering what we just saw and we have to go back. But she was like, nahi. And under peer pressure, in a lack of judgment, I decided, okay, we'll go, but we'll just go eat and come back. And the three of us went there, we had fun, we had Nihari and Pepsi, we enjoyed. But when we're about to leave, one of my friends, she noticed that about an hour ago, she received a very cryptic message from an unknown number saying, I am waiting for you in the parking. And we saw down the rooftop and saw that the Kareem driver who had dropped us, he was still there, waiting. And we thought about all the reasons he might be waiting. Perhaps we didn't give him money, but that was not the case. Perhaps he wants to drop us back to earn some more. But why would he wait 1 whole hour for us when he could have more rides? And perhaps he was a good Samaritan, he just wanted to drop 3 girls safely. But that, considering the night that we've had, we were like, no, we cannot assume that. So we assumed the worst. He's a creep, he's a kidnapper, and we have to get out of this situation. And we thought of a lot of things. What can we do? We can perhaps call a friend from Lums to pick us, or perhaps wait there until he leaves. But the best course of action we decided was to call Zahir Bhai. Zahir Bhai is a very trusted rickshaw driver who has been driving outside Lum since 2006, and we trust him with our life. So we called him, he reached there within 4 minutes, and while leaving, we also told the Butt Kadhai staff to get involved if someone from that car follows us. And we ran to the rickshaw, and we finally reached home, Lums, safely. Why am I telling this story? Fellow Toastmasters and distinguished guests, I used to believe that finding small moments of happiness in life is very simple. You go out, you watch something entertaining, have food, and return home. But that is not the case if you're a woman. If you're a woman, it becomes a full-blown mission. And given that that night we made some pretty bad judgment calls, even then, it shouldn't have to be like that. It shouldn't require so much luck and caution and calculation and backup plans and exit strategies and alertness and willingness to survive the night and assumption and fear that every man is out there to get you to be able to have a normal night out with friends. If you're a woman in Pakistan, in any city of Pakistan, in fact, to the women in this audience, I would like you to take notes. This is how you survive. Regardless of whether you go out before sunset or after sunset, regardless of whether you go out to have fun or to do something important, you are not allowed to scream in reaction to an earthquake because that might attract men. You are not allowed to use washroom, and you are not allowed to eat food. So that is your survival tools. And that, fellow Toastmasters and distinguished guests, is what the city of Lahore or any city of Pakistan has to offer to us women. Our Toastmaster of the evening presented a very interesting topic to us, climbing mountains, but I can only dream about it. And I urge you all to think about this for a moment. Why is it that in a country that is so culturally and historically rich and so pretty, those spaces are not accessible to women? Why is it that we've made our streets so inaccessible that the only thing that we can offer to women is fear or threat? And how do we change that? Thank you.
First of all, don't start timing. Do you want a critical feedback or the sandwich one? The critical feedback or the sandwich one? Critical feedback, okay. So get ready then. First of all, thank you very much, my dear Toastmaster Fellows. We had witnessed a very nice speech from Ayan Saad Raja, the way she presented herself. And I would like to thank her for mentioning a very important aspect of a taboo kind of a situation that usually the women in our society faces. I would like to thank her to bring awareness and enlighten us about that aspect. Let's move toward the speech content. And the first, there are many elements which are very nice about the speech, but I would like to highlight only three. The first is starting a speech with a question, Lahore, and then immediately moving towards a question that what comes in your mind with the name of Lahore, and that a very nice element to engage people. The second thing which I literally believe very important, adding story, and not one story, there were many anecdotes, small stories within that speech. And whenever you tell stories, that brings a chemical reaction within your mind and a sense of happiness, a kind of engagement that brought in by the storytelling technique by Toastmaster Ayan Saad Raja. What a great way to do the audience engagement. Hats off to you for that. And well, at some movement, I have witnessed some body movement. As far as your hands gestures was concerned, it was very well used. A placato technique of using hand gestures, just face of your hands up and sometime down. That was a very nice point when using hand at this level while you were at the stage delivering speech. Let's move towards the points of improvement, though those are very little. But I believe those are of significance, importance, and those are, number one, that is about all the vocal variety in the body language. For example, starting your speech, Lahore, it was just like Lahore, a flat. Lahore, anything that comes straight up in your mind, that variation with your voice, as I said, the melody that can literally bring a great, then pace while you are telling a multiple word connected with each other. For example, you were telling culture, literature, blah, 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 blah. These kind of things can literally add value. And then one word, Some of them were even screaming. That was very flat. If I were at your place, I would have used that word. Even some of them were screaming. So these kind of variation using voice variety literally adds value. Where you need to get yourself challenged, those points are, for example, the stage movement that was very limited. I've seen you were still at one point. Since that speech was very nice, you could have used stage while just moving at a little bit right and just delivering a point and looking at the left. Remember, whenever you're moving, you must face the audience. You just look at the eyes. And when I was sitting out there, I was searching for your eye contact towards me. Remember, whenever you are on stage, use a Z kind of movement. For example, right now I will use the Z movement and talking in front of people. You see? You have noticed that? So these kind of element literally. At the end, I'll say keep up with a nice addition of question, keep up with a nice storytelling, keep up with a nice content within your speech, but do not forget to add voice variation, modulation, as I said. Do not forget to use the stage properly. Keep inspiring, delivering such speech in the future as well. Flourish and prosper. Thank you very much.